Hello, my friends! This is Maya Joy. Welcome to the Maya's Dream Channel. Today we are going to talk about the North Node in the sign of Aries and the soul's trajectory for all of you beautiful and kind-hearted beings who have this placement. So, first of all, if you have your North Node in Aries, I just want to say my heart goes out to all of you. You are some of the sweetest and kindest and most thoughtful human beings and souls on the planet, and I really love and appreciate all of you. As a matter of fact, I would say in this lifetime, probably my top 5, maybe even top 10 closest relationships have all been with people who have this placement. So when I say that I really love you guys, I mean it. I love you guys. You may find that today's message resonates a little bit as well if you have your North Node in the first house. But really, this is for people with their North Node in the sign of Aries. My big message for all of you today is this: have the courage to release the fear of being alone. Once you are able to truly rise above the fear of loneliness and being alone, that is when your whole entire life, like this whole new dimension of life, begins to open for you, and you finally find yourself free in this world. And that might sound like a really strange phenomenon, especially if you sort of found this video and you've just discovered your North Node in Aries, but I promise you, this is your soul's trajectory in this lifetime. When I say that your trajectory or your learning or your growth depends on releasing that fear of being alone, that's not necessarily me saying that you will be alone in this lifetime or that you won't get married or you won't have that perfect partnership. But what it is me saying is that if you put that relationship, whether it's that significant other, the husband or wife, or the quest for the significant other, the husband or wife, the best friend, if you put that as your number one priority in life, it's very, very likely that you will not succeed and that your life will fall apart. Now, that might sound very, 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 very shocking. And like I said, I have so much love for all of you, and that's why I'm making this video today. The reason why that can happen when you have this placement is because your soul, the part of you that survives death, the part of you that's everlasting, decided in this lifetime that you wanted to master independence and self-sufficiency. Those were some of your goals for this lifetime. However, your soul has recently completed a cycle of incarnations that were all about mastering partnership and fully and deeply appreciating the joys of being close with another person and sharing in a special bond. So you find yourself in this lifetime in this unique situation where you fully appreciate and remember the amazing joys of partnership. And not only that, but you have the skills to be like the most amazing best friend, lover. However, every time that you try to link up and establish that bond, or a lot of the times that you try to do that, with another person, it's like the best laid plans can go awry. And suddenly you find yourself on your own. Or no matter what you do and how perfect you are and how much you bend over backwards for that other person and how beautiful you are and everything else, you can often find that through sort of events that feel out of your control, you end up on your own. And if that's happening to you, this video is for you. So why does that happen? This sort of phenomenon often happens to individuals with North Node in Aries because of the love of their guides and angels and the divine beings who support them. And because the lesson is not to be afraid of being alone. After these lifetimes of learning how to strengthen partnership, your soul needs now to strengthen the relationship with yourself and to understand that as amazing as one-on-one relationships can be with other people, there's also a deep, deep joy that comes from knowing that you can have a beautiful, beautiful life with yourself. Now, I know that might sound really strange, but it's like you actually don't need anyone next to you in order to achieve your goals, your hopes, or your dreams. And when you're truly, truly on your highest path, your soul's highest path, you will begin to develop goals, hopes, and dreams that are not reliant on another person. And you will begin to feel amazing as you set aside your relationships in life and you put them not as the first priority, but maybe as the second or third or fourth priority, putting yourself as the first priority. When you do that, you'll find that, oh yes, now my life really is moving forward, because the whole universe is conspiring at this time to help you become self-confident and to learn that you don't need another person in order to build the life of your dreams. Like, actually, although that worked for you in prior lifetimes, in this lifetime, you're rediscovering that you have everything you need within yourself. And as long as you don't believe that that's true, like as long as you have this belief that something is missing and exists inside that other person, the universe will conspire to show you that that isn't true. Because in this life, your lesson is everything that I need is within myself. And if I can trust and rely on myself, that's going to give me deep fulfillment. So this placement is one that gets easier as you get older. Often these are the people who in their late teens or even early 20s, fall deeply, deeply in love. Sometimes they get married like really, really young, and then the Saturn return comes or something like that, and their marriage falls apart, and then they're alone again. If you have this placement, it's very, very likely that no matter how perfect of a partner you are, at some point in your life, through events that are outside of yourself, you're going to find yourself feeling very alone. Because only in releasing that fear or losing the fear or overcoming the fear of loneliness can your soul achieve what it set out to do in this lifetime. So sometimes these people will even and like I said, the relational skills are through the roof. Like if you have this placement, you would be a great counselor for other people in their relationships or helping other people. And you could find everyone around you, their relationships flourish because of you. But your own relational life is just not connecting in the way that you want. Sometimes these people can establish these really, really strong, foolproof relationships. And even just through crazy events that are outside of themselves, that maybe their spouse or something like that gets a job in another country and they can't go or something like that, but they find themselves alone. You are to accept and embrace and cultivate that time alone, to develop. I'm a very, very deeply spiritual person. I'm really a psychic more than an astrologer, but I'm also an astrologer, but I believe that when it comes to time alone, one of the highest things that we can do is establish a connection with a higher power. You can come to find that you're never truly alone. And I think that can really be something that's comforting if you have the North Node in Aries. There's an entire world that will open up for you when you open the door to that alone space and willingly walk in that room. I'm thinking of it as like visually at this point, but this can be very literal with North Node in Aries, is like accepting the solitary retreat as a part of your journey. And it's only when you actually spend that time alone and get comfortable in your own presence that your relationships will truly begin to be healthy and to reflect the true values that you have. With this placement, there's a higher risk of having imbalanced or unhealthy relationships because there is this underlying fear often in the North Node in Aries individual of being alone. So this can cause them to overcompromise and sort of partner. The thought is like, well, I'd rather have someone than no one. So even though this person maybe isn't fully honoring me in these various different ways, or, has these qualities where I feel a little dismissed or this kind of stuff, I'm going to be with them anyway because having a partner is better than being alone. But fundamentally, like in this life, if you can make the internal embodied shift in the direction of, I love being alone and I don't need a partner in order to have a fulfilling life. Like if you can really come to embody that within your field, the ironic thing is only then will you truly have the equal harmonious partnership with the person who truly respects you. But it will only be healthy for you so long as you do not need it in order to have self-worth and self-confidence. This is the trajectory of someone with their North Node in Aries. And I wish I had a magic wand that I could wave for all of you that would suddenly allow you to embody this energy in a way that felt really comfortable. And I hope one day to discover that wand. I have tried to wave the magic wand for many people with this placement and help them come to know the joys of time alone. And I think I have a little bit of an ability to do this. I hope so. But here's some things that can really, really help you. One thing that you need to do if you have the North Node in Aries is understand that all those qualities that you're drawn to in relationship or in partnership genuinely and truly do exist within you. I have seen strange patterns in people with the North Node in Aries where it's they could become really fixated on certain skills that they feel they don't have and then use this as a means to justify partnership. I actually had just an amazing friend, we're still great friends, who had this placement. She had this strange idea that she needed a partnership with somebody who was able to install doors and windows and stuff like this. She really liked doing home renovations, and she would seek out partners who had this sort of handyman skills, even if they were absolutely terrible to her, and some of them were. And I would ask her, why are you still in a relationship with this person? And she would be like, well, they have the tools and they know how to fix the stuff around the house. And finally, after years, I was like, for all the money, time, and energy that you're giving to this person, you could probably just hire somebody to do that for you and have a much happier life. In this case, often this person was letting in others who really were dismissing and being very disrespectful to her. And I know that's not always the case, but I see patterns like this in North Node and Aries over and over and over and over and over again. I have another just like beloved friend who has a really similar phenomenon and really believes that like he doesn't have the skills to do like house cleaning and stuff like that, you know, and is like, well, I need a partner because I need somebody to keep me on track in order to make sure my house is clean, laundry's folded, like all this kind of stuff. And has had some really interesting situations with different people, like in order to achieve these goals of like, you know, Virgo stuff, house cleaning, healthy eating, this kind of stuff. And there's like the thought after such a long time, he had this like initiation, this North Node and Aries initiation of this like year, like completely alone. And finally, during that time, he actually like hired a house cleaner, and it's like, wait, maybe I don't need a wife to do that or a lover. Maybe I can learn how to do it myself. But even in the interim, maybe I can just hire someone to do these things for me. Like I don't necessarily need these qualities in a partnership. One of the greatest things that you can do is whatever it is that you think you can't do or you tell yourself you can't do until that partner is with you, just go ahead and start doing that stuff on your own, like, and that will be like a major breakthrough. I mean, I think like the most extreme example of this that I can imagine is maybe like a woman who really wants to be a mother. Now, I know this is an extreme example, but just to give you an idea, right? And she's waiting for that perfect partner, but maybe getting a little older. Maybe she begins to explore other options within herself, like in vitro fertilization, and maybe she has support from someone else in her life, like her mother or a best friend or something like that. But she starts to realize, hey, I really want this thing in my life. And actually, after years of telling myself that it can only happen when I have that partner next to me, I'm going to start telling a new story, which is that whatever I want and need and dream of, I actually can do it on my own. And it's not scary. It's amazing. And actually, it's true. Like with the North Node and Aries placement, there's so much like insecurity or fear about being alone. And there's so much energy often expended in trying to maintain all these partnerships or establish all these partnerships to the point where these people are extremely highly susceptible, like I was saying, to toxic and imbalanced relationships, because they will put in 90% of the effort for somebody who's showing up 10% for them. But even further than that, they're also very susceptible to like dependence or like dependence or addiction, even to social media, online dating, different like clubs and things like that are kind of wasting their time and wasting their energy because they're very worried about being left on their own. And there can be like a deep sadness as they look upon like all their contemporaries and other people their same age who are, you know, getting married, having kids, and they're just there alone. And with this placement, you've got to accept that some time alone is what is meant to be for you. And your path is no longer that one of make the perfect marriage, make the perfect family, become the most beautiful. That's not your path anymore. And it's not to say it won't happen, but as long as you put that above taking care of you and being confident in you and having time alone for you to take care of your body and your life, it will not turn out in a healthy way. There's a really high incidence for people with this placement of ultimately having failed marriages or divorces or toxic relationships or things like that because they're establishing a relationship with another person before establishing a healthy relationship with themselves. And that just is not going to be granted by the universe, like in this case. And even if it is temporarily, it'll usually, eventually, at some point, you have to come home to yourself and begin to embody those qualities that you've been searching for outside of yourself. There's a need with this placement to lose the fear or release the fear of being alone. A really good way to do that is be alone every single day. What does it mean to be alone? I feel like in the modern times, a lot of people have no idea what it means to have quality time alone, okay? Quality time alone, to be with your own thoughts, means that you're not sitting there staring at your phone, reaching for other people to soothe you or, prevent you from your own thoughts, okay? I don't know how else to say that, and it's, if you find yourself like really always reaching for connection with another person, that's okay. That's just part of your past life conditioning. But time alone means that you are with yourself, that you are embracing this relationship with yourself, that you are exploring your own inner being and coming to know who you are, not through the eyes of another person, but through your own eyes. Good things to do by yourself, maybe with the phone turned off, or at least not talking to anyone on the phone or scrolling through social media. Good things to do for North Node and Aries: exercise, get in your body. When we become fixated on other people in relationships, one thing that, often can go really quickly is true health and well-being and fitness. There's a karmic need for people with the North Node in Aries to become strong physically. And it's interesting because there's a tendency in these individuals to be very attractive and beautiful, because they found in other lifetimes and earlier in this lifetime that drew to them the perfect partner. So often these people are extremely good at their physical presentation. They're usually really well groomed. Women with this placement can just be wonderful at doing makeup, stuff like that. But often, although they look really beautiful, it's kind of a little bit more of a surface beauty. And sometimes they can know exactly how to talk, exactly how to dress, to draw in the perfect partner. But inside, they really feel kind of weak physically, or unsure about their own physical body. These are the people who need to challenge themselves, go to the CrossFit class, lift weights, do a race or something like that, sign up for the half marathon, do a triathlon. They're getting in touch with the warrior energy within themselves. This is the higher Aries energy. This is the higher Aries energy. It's you're discovering the strength within yourself. So fitness activities are very, 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 very good for people with North Node and Aries. It helps you feel strong. It helps you feel powerful. It helps you come into your body and develop a true, I think, health and wellness that will shine from the inside out. So when your body is healthy and strong, you don't need to do as much magic with clothing, makeup, jewelry, and stuff like that to draw the perfect person to you. Actually, your self-confidence is what will draw to you the healthy partner. There can often be a lot of resentment within North Node and Aries people because actually they're giving way too much, and they're really not getting a partner who honors and respects them because they don't honor and respect themselves. So investing time in your physical health and well-being, not for the sake of appearances, but for the sake of strength, is really, really beneficial. That also can come to diet as well. There can be even a tendency with these people to just adapt to whatever their partner is doing. So, let's say that they start dating someone and that person is a raw vegan or something like that. They are so adaptable that they'll just go ahead and do that. Or maybe they're following a really healthy diet, but they get into a relationship and that person just likes to go out and eat all the time. They'll do that. A lot of times these people will end up becoming very, very unhealthy because they crave social interaction so much that they end up going out all the time, going out to eat, going to bars, stuff like that. Because where does social interaction happen? Well, right now it's the COVID epidemic, like as I'm recording this, or pandemic, but typically social interaction happens in restaurants, it happens in bars, it happens over the dinner table. So a lot of times they can actually, like people with displacement can actually really lose track of their health, maybe even especially as they get older and social interaction isn't as abundant, like through university or school and stuff like that. They can find that they say yes to every single time they get invited out, and as a result, like they can put on a lot of weight, they can become very, very unhealthy. And there's a karmic need to start saying no to these kinds of social opportunities, to really find a balance with it. But fundamentally, to understand you don't need that in order to be healthy and well. And to find truly healthy diet, truly healthy fitness routine. This really, really helps the North Node in Aries. It helps them to build confidence. There's also a need with North Node in Aries to set goals and achieve them on your own. This is fundamentally how a person usually does develop self-confidence. It can never, if your confidence is dependent on someone else assuring you or telling you how great you are, that's actually not really confidence. So the confidence that comes from within is knowing that you can do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it, and you don't need help. Everything you need is within yourself. So sort of like self-motivational videos, audios, music that pumps you up, whatever it is, you need to set goals and you need to achieve them. And as you begin to do that more and more, and you do it by yourself alone, you will find that you just start to radiate this amazing confidence from within yourself. And finally, you are free in this world, because we're only truly free when we don't need anyone else to be okay within ourselves. And I don't believe that any of us are sent to this planet to live a solitary life. We're always meant to exist in community. But when we tell ourselves that that's the most important thing, often we really can become disconnected from the one person who is always truly with us, which is ourself. All our other relationships flow from that relationship that we have with ourself. And honestly, it really is true that we're not going to get the respect that we desire from other people until we respect ourselves. We're not going to get the love that we desire from other people until we truly love ourselves. Not in a superficial way, but really truly love who we are when we're alone, without our phone, naked, and just in our own energy. Like when we really come to terms with who we are. And a lot of times with this placement, we don't really know who we are except through the eyes of another person. So find out who you are and who you want to be. Go after what you want. Prove to yourself that you can do it. And then those genuine, balanced, fair, harmonious, respectful, kind, thoughtful, beautiful relationships will naturally come to you. And it may take a little bit more time. It may happen a little bit later in life. And if it does, that's amazing. Good things are worth waiting for. Good things are worth waiting for, especially when it comes to relationships. So it can be hard, like I said, for people with displacement sometimes, because they can really compare their own relationships to others and feel like it's not fair. Like, I have all these skills and I'm doing a good job, but it's just not happening for me. And just understand that this is just your soul's trajectory. this is just an introduction to a discussion on North Node and Aries, but I just want to say my heart goes out to all of you. The person who needs your love and kindness the most is you. It's you. It's not anybody else. It's you. Give that energy to yourself, and your life will transform in amazing and incredible ways. You can do it. 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 You are your own superhero. You are your own superstar, and you're going to make yourself very, very proud. So thank you so much for listening to today's message. Have the courage to release your fear of being alone. North Node and Aries, many blessings, and namaste.